Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to today's AFK journey video. So for today's Zeeebo's TED Talk, I would like to talk about the changes to AFK stage pushing. I would like to gather feedback on this because I do have a very mixed view about this change. Because I have both a more free-to-play casual mindset and account on my VN side, and I have a more competitive and I spend a lot more time to grind perspective from my main account right here. And I think both of them have different viewpoints which validates the changes for this game mode over here. So I think I would like to keep this open. Feel free to post your viewpoints about this, and hopefully if somebody from a development team happens to see the comment section, they know that yeah, these are the different opinions from different players, right? But personally for me, I'm gonna sort of be a devil's advocate, right, giving opinions from both sides, being a casual player as well as a more hardcore player, right? So from a hardcore perspective, let's start with the more hardcore side. I think spending time to deficit push should be rewarded, and I think all this advantage that you get from all the season manuals, subsequently your levels on your resonance level, your equipment levels, and then subsequently more damage on Dream Realm, I think it's fair. Considering some of these players who are here, for example, they probably spend 4 or 5 hours minimally per day. So they do spend a lot of time for it, and I think previously AFK stage was relegated to a point where it's just yeah, I'm gonna push and then max up my rewards, I'm done for the day, right? There's no incentive for them to actually push really hard, and the rewards are there. There's obviously invite letters, talent ops and stuff, but it's not massive. So this was relegated into a very casual game mode just for resources, and I think it's not very good for the game because this game is called AFK Journey. So AFK stage push is actually quite important by the term of the game in general. It's not a Dream Realm journey or something, it's called AFK Journey. So AFK stage is actually quite important. But at the same time, from a more casual perspective, because right now on my main account right here, I was actually always on the top 5 or 6 in terms of the rankings itself. But I took a 2 days break because I had something on to do, and then generally the ranking fell. The progression was a lot slower because I wasn't sitting down and manualing all the tougher stages. I wasn't doing deficit pushes itself, and I think this definitely created some form of FOMO stress factor, which sort of yeah, if you want to be competitive, you need to be pushing every single day. And if you can't find a fair balance between accepting that you should be rewarded for how much time you spend, and also being sort of casual in terms of your mindset in general, I think you could be very burnt out by this, because I'm pretty sure this is gonna be what phase 2 is gonna look like in terms of this competitiveness as well. And then if you were to sort of sit down and push every single day for the full season itself, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be burnt out. I think for most people, burnout is gonna be really real. So that's that. But I do know that there are hardcore players who really enjoy the changes, and I can see where they're coming from. So personally for me, I'll be if I am more hardcore, I really love it. If I'm more casual, to be honest, there are stuff which I love as well. In terms of for example, the first clear rewards. This guy over here, he cleared the first clear, and then I'm able to get more season manuals as well. I'm going to get all these rewards for free for his efforts, and then I'm able to progress faster as well. So in general, I think there are things which both sides can appreciate. So let me know, right, if there's other opinions that I didn't mention, or you agree with me, you disagree with me. But generally speaking, I feel that this is a very good change. The only thing, or the only things that I think should be improved or can be improved, is maybe sort of setting a cap in terms of the advantages that they can get in terms of all this level stuff. So there is this level adjustments, by the way, I think, but it could be a little bit more pushed out, so that the advantage is not so massive, because I think I've seen comments of people complaining, yeah, the advantage is massive because of a 10-20 level difference, it's very big. So that's that. There are things that they could definitely do with whatever existing mechanics is in the game to make the balancing more fine-tuned. But that's pretty much it. I think the only problem that a lot of people have is the advantage that these players get from AFK stages translating to advantages in other game modes. more importantly, I think Legends Trial. Legends Trial having EXP Tome this season is massive because level advantage makes it such that you push through all these floors much more easily, and then from there you naturally get more EXP, and then more EXP translates to more pushing power, which is more EXP, and then you guys can see the steamroll effect in general. So I do agree with all those pointers. I think those are valid. So finding the balance between all this will be what I think the development team needs to do, and also sort of limiting advantages on certain stages. Not to say there shouldn't be any, there should be, but limiting the overall advantage will probably give a better like player experience as a whole. Right? Let me know if you disagree. If you're super hardcore, it's like, I need my advantage, I need my season manual, let me know. Okay, so another thing which I think can definitely be improved would be stages beyond 900. So this is how it looks like beyond 900. So the only thing that incentivizes you to push would be obviously having your name here, and maybe this factor over here. So I do understand why they said this, because like it is to sort of limit like the advantage that the season manual can give beyond 900, but at the same time I do think that it's perfectly fine to drop like an invite letter every 20 or 30 levels, for example. At the very least, like if I were to see all this, I do know that, hey, I'm actually getting something. You know, there is this mini incentivization, although it's a very minor one, but I do think that for the general player base is definitely a really good bonus to have in terms of further rewarding all these AFK stage push. So that's pretty much it. I think in general, on a personal level, I actually enjoy the change, because AFK stage was the core gameplay mechanics in this game, right? The core gameplay portion of the game, and I think having it relegated into a secondary or just a resource farming thing in the past few seasons was, you know, not like that fun. But the thing is, I do agree with the side that, hey, I do not have that much time to commit, I do not have that much time to push through every single day, and balance is needed. Right, so that is something that's pretty valid as well. So I do hope that they find a fair balance, and feel free to let me know what you feel about this part. Personally, I coming from somebody who is like casual and hardcore, I think there is something to be celebrated for both sides. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for listening to Zeeebo's Yap today, or Zeeebo's TED Talk today, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.